Hi and welcome back. Sands 3T, from third tee, which is the 5th of the World Championship week. I had a comment from Alex Jones. It's very useful actually, thanks Alex. He's mentioned that it gets a bit dull watching me try and hit the line going back and forwards again and again, which I do quite a lot, especially in games that matter. Not so much maybe on these practice course games, but what the suggestion was can we cut out the bits, those bits where I'm just attempting to hit the power line, the power gauge on the right spot. I've not done that, but what you'll see is, there we go, I've actually sped those bits up, so you don't have to sit me watching me do those anymore, which I think you'll probably be grateful for. Thanks again for that, Alex. So that was an approach wedge power shot, leaving a simple putt. A lot of people don't realise for these shorter shots, when it's kind of just too short for backspin, you can use, you can get kind of within range of, maybe where you'd be hitting with a short backspin with an approach wedge power shot. I tend to steer clear of the pitching wedge because it flies a bit too flat when you've got a lot of stats anyway. Once you're on kind of 2,500 plus, it starts to get lower and lower pitched. Anyway, this one you would have seen me from 5T playing a draw shot. I'll do something a bit different here. I'm just going to play a 3-wood. I could use a 4-wood or even a forward power shot, and it would get me there, but in front of the green it's quite steeply elevated on that left hand side and it can quite easily get stuck in front of the green. So for that reason the 3-wood is lower trajectory. It'll skip on a little bit more after it lands and hopefully finish not too far from the pin. So you'll see it's looping up and stopping quite quickly there. Again, if I'd played the 4-wood, because it was a bit more lofted, it could quite easily just loop straight up and roll back and you won't make it onto the green. So simple putt for eagle. You'll see me, obviously I'm showing you what you can do on every hole, so I can tell you ahead of time this would be 18 under this round, which from the third tee is quite a good score obviously. You tend to find 15 under would usually win, maybe 16 under in the World Championship. But obviously I've now done 18 under from the 5th tee, so it's a bit of an anticlimax, but you can't really go any more without a hole in one. There's not even a chip in because both the par 5s you can get an albatross on. So essentially you can drive every green once you hit probably about 2,800, 3,000 stats at Sands. So this was a backspin shot. I can just make the green with a backspin. You would have seen me play a shot into the tree from the 5th tee, because I wouldn't have the range to play a backspin shot. I've only just got the range actually, but I just thought I'd throw that in, show that it is possible. And on to the 4th, which is an albatross chance. This is, when you look at it, when you first start playing, you think, well, there's no way in a million years I'll ever drive that green. And then all of a sudden, you can, I think the stat level's probably about 2,700, 2,800 thereabouts. And you can start making this green with a 1-wood. It's actually, there's a few holes like this, it's probably easier with a 1-wood than it is with a 2 or a 3. I think I'll play a 3-wood here. Just under, I'm playing a 2-wood. Obviously, it's going to bounce in front of the, I'll go with the lightning fast bar. It's going to bounce in front of the bunker. And the idea is it'll roll down the hill towards the pin. However, this is a little bit short, 1 yard more, and that would have actually rolled right down, being a couple of yards away. Not too bad a putt from here though. Again, a double breaking one, which, as I've said before, is easier when you're using a guide than a straight right to left or left to right elevation. It gives you a bit of leeway as far as hitting the line. As you see there, I was quite a bit short. If that had been a right to left break, it could well have missed to the left. But because it's going both ways, you've got a bit more breathing space as far as not having to hit that line spot on. So on to the 5th. You're probably all overdosing on Sands. I know I am. I'm a bit sick of it. I had the 2 round in Master Pro B last week, and then I've had 2 goes at Master Pro A on my channel this week. So there's actually a Sands 40 coming up, which I'll do a video for. But I'm not going to bother doing the Sands 5T, which does come up in the World Championship, because you can just watch one of the other 3 videos that I've got. So with this one, the fairway will kick. If you watch it, it'll kick over to the right as it lands. It was a little bit too hard. It's quite hard to judge the distance just right. It does slope down towards the green, so you could go probably about 5 yards shorter than I did there and still make it, but maybe if you go 6 or 7, you can start getting stuck up in the front, so you tend to always, err on the side of caution and run a little bit past. So on to the 6th. The 6th is again a kind of dish-shaped green. It's going to roll in. If it pitches to the right, it'll roll in. Pitches to the left, it'll roll in towards the green. It is possible to kind of have it run too far over, so you'll pitch it to the right and it'll kind of run over the front of the green and end up on the left-hand side. With this wind, it's a fairly simple process just to drop it. Very similar actually to the shot I played in my last World Championship video, but I played it a little bit short. This time I got the line a bit better. As you can see, it's not far from the hole at all. A simple putt. So the 7th coming up is another par 4. So another one where you can drive the green. You can, from the 5th tee, you need to play a low shot, otherwise you can get into trouble with the trees. So I tend to play a low shot from all tees, just because I've kind of got the feel for it, and I find it easier, to be honest. Some people I've seen play draw. You could probably play a sky shot now. So there's, the shots that I play aren't necessarily going to be the shots you'd find easiest. So you can, have a little play yourself, see how you get on. But like I say, I find a low shot, especially there, you'll see it rolls in. That wasn't far away at all from a hole in one. It's nicely contoured for that shot, I think. So again, flying through. This video I think is in total about 9.5 minutes long. This one, I'll just, well, there's various ways to play it. You can play a high shot, you can play a punch shot as I played from the 5th tee. I'm within range of a backspin here. Now you'll notice it looks a bit short. If you take the elevation into account, you'd think that might finish a bit short, but if you watch what happens when it pitches, obviously expect a backspin shot to stop, but that still rolls on. That's because it's pitching on quite a heavy slope away from us. So despite the fact the backspin's taking effect, the hill's pushing it on still, it's then rolling down nicely towards the hole. I'm getting my lineups all wrong. You'll notice me using guides. If I'm playing in a non-competitive game, I would tend to just play the shot. But trying to show you what would be an 18 under round. So on to the last. Now this is going to be different again from the 5th tee. You notice me bouncing off the path in my last video, or if you've watched it. And you can do that. So if you haven't got the stats to do the shot I'm doing here, then yeah, you can bounce it off the path. And in some ways it's better because you get a nicer bit of control. So if you get it bouncing right in the middle of the path, it'll then land on the fairway and it'll just roll. You can see how the green's really contoured down to where the pin is there. So as long as you get it somewhere within range, it'll tend to roll towards the pin. And you can see here, it almost does that. So it rolls up and it looks like it's going to start coming back. It doesn't really. So if it was a bit higher up the hill, which is much steeper, it can get a bit of pace up and come right back towards the hole. So this one, I probably want to line up quite a bit more to the right than that, I think. Even that, I think, yeah, maybe even more than that. Yeah, there's quite a lot of break on it. You'll notice there's nothing kind of official, but some of the greens do play a lot faster, as in break takes a lot more. So Sands, Rolling Hills, Safari, Copper. So, a similar break at somewhere like Interlaken or Kyoto, you wouldn't see half as much break. Next up, Aztec from the 4th tee. Thanks for watching.